Hi guys, my name is D2N and I'm gonna take you through this thing I made, the command I made in Mixitup app. Mixitup app, great bot. It's a offline bot, so you run it on your own computer. Can be your stream computer, can be your game computer, can be a separate computer, whatever. It's a bot that gives you a lot of control of the things going on in your chat. Has also some wonderful integrations. One of the integrations it has is, for example, Streamloots, because I'm going to use this in a Streamloots-a-thon. It's like a sub-a-thon, but with Streamloots-cards. But you can use it as well with a sub-a-thon, with donations, whatever. The thing with the countdown timers I see online is they use chat commands to add or subtract time. They have bots sending commands into chat. I don't like getting my chat cluttered with commands just to add some time to a timer, so I made this one. By the way, big shout out to the guys at Streamloots. If you don't have Streamloots yet, I'll put a link in below the video. Take a look at it. It's a wonderful system. You get some cards they can play, your viewers can play during your stream, making it more interactive, making it more fun. And the guys at Streamloots are doing a great thing. They are listening to the community, talking to the community. They are giving so much back to the community. The response time at their Discord server is really fast. It's very cool working with them, and make sure to take a look at their site as well. By the way, Streamloots, I'm looking forward to the moment you're all going to sing Barbie Girl for us. So don't make me wait too long. The countdown timer here. Looks like only 3 lines. It's a bit more because there's a conditional in there, but that's running ahead of things. Let's first start off with telling you I have 2 text files I use in this command. The first text file is the time I want to display. I write it into a text file, which I read in OBS as a text layer. Every time the text file changes, it also changes in my OBS, so that's easy. The second text file I use is seconds.txt. It's a text file where I have the total number of seconds in that still need to be counted down. I use seconds, but I don't display the seconds. I don't want it to be like 17 hours, 17,000 seconds, 16,000 seconds, 999. I want it to be days, hours, minutes, seconds. But for the calculations, it's easier to just work with the seconds. That's why I have a seconds.txt. You can do this without a seconds file. You can do it with a global variable. I'm not going to explain this right here, right now, but the reason I use a text file is because when the bot crashes, never happened by the way, but when it crashes, you still have the text file with the number of seconds in there, and you can restart it really fast rather than to have to calculate the total number of seconds you already had, putting it into a variable. It takes some time, so that's why I use text files. The first thing I do is I read from the text file the number of seconds there's still left, because I need to put it into the program. I have my text file right here, and I put it into a variable seconds. Important here is with a lot of bots or programming languages, you need to put a special sign to tell something is a variable. Usually it's a $sign. In here it's also a $sign, but the $sign, you don't need to put it in front of a variable you're creating. The bot does that automatically. Just put in seconds here and you'll be fine. And then we come to the big part. It's the conditional. You see, it's a big block because there's a lot of things going on in the conditional. And what's the condition to trigger all of these events? Well, as long as the number of seconds isn't 0. So value, the first value, $seconds. Here I have to put the $, because I want the number of seconds in the variable seconds, $seconds, is different to 0. When this happens, we want to have a whole lot of things triggering, and we want to not trigger this once. We want to keep triggering this as long as it's different to 0. Repeat while true. Instead of different to 0, you can also use bigger than 0. Bigger than 0 is a bit better way, for example, if you have also things that make you subtract time. Because different than 0, -1 is also different to 0. So bigger than is also is actually a bit better. Bigger than, don't use smaller than. Then nothing will trigger. The first thing I do is I take the number of seconds and I subtract 1 from the number of seconds that's still in there. You can see I'm not putting a $sign right here in seconds because I want to recreate the value, the variable with a new value, and the new value being seconds minus 1. It's important to have math expression turned on here. If you don't turn it on, then it will put the text value of $seconds minus 1. $seconds will be, for example, 12 seconds, 12 minus 1. So if we don't put this math expression on, it will be 1, 2, minus 1. We don't want that. It's 12 minus 1 is 11. We want 11 going in there. Math expression, very important. Second thing I'm doing is saving it back to the file. So I have my save file ready, saving it back to the same file I read it from first, seconds.txt. And what do I put in there? $seconds, the variable, the new number. Then I'll be waiting for 1 second. Well, not me, the bot will be waiting for 1 second. It's not important to put it here, but put it somewhere in your loop, because if you don't put the wait timer in there, it will count down very, very fast. You want to have it counting down every second, not every millisecond, not every time it just finished. Every second is fine. The next thing we need to do is to calculate the number, the total time you want to have displayed. I don't want to display the total number of seconds. I want to have days, hours, minutes, seconds, and that's what I'll start calculating here. And I start off with calculating the number of seconds. What I do is I take the total number of seconds, I divide it by 60, and then I multiply it, the decimal part, by 60 again, giving me the number of seconds that are not a whole minute. So 63 divided by 60 gives me 1 point something. Take the decimal part, multiply it by 60 again, that will give me 3. You can do this in just one expression, and instead of dividing, you use the percentile sign. So $seconds percent 60. This will give me 3 if $seconds is 63. If seconds is lower than 60, it will be just a copy of seconds. If it's, for example, 120, it will give 0. Again, this is a math expression. Very important to use this. The next thing I'm going to do is calculate the number of minutes. The total number of minutes still need to be counted down. So I take the total number of seconds I need to count down minus the number of seconds that don't form a whole minute, the 3 with 63. So I take 63 minus 3 is 60, and I've divided through 60. Just dividing it, no percentile sign here, divide it. 60 divided by 60 is 1, so 10 minutes will be 1 in this case. Is a math expression, turn it on again, otherwise you have the text going in there, you don't want that. So the 10 minutes is a whole number, no decimals, with the total number of minutes. Then we're going to do the same thing again as we did with seconds. We take the total number of minutes, percent 60, because there's 60 minutes in 1 hour. And then we get the total number of minutes we want to display. We put it in a new variable, min, for minutes. No dollar sign here. The bot does it automatically, and it's a math expression. Next, we're going to calculate the number of hours left. It's the total number of minutes minus the number of minutes we're going to display, divided through 60, and then we get the total number of hours we're going to display. The total of number of hours still need to be counted down. To have the number of hours we're going to display, we're going to do the same thing as we did with the seconds and the minutes, only here we're going to use 24. We take the total number of hours, percent 24, because there's 24 hours in a day. We put this into the variable hours, and then we're going to calculate the next thing, the number of days still left. Number of days is the total number of hours minus the total number, minus the number of hours we're going to display, and that will give me the number of days. I just added here the dollar signs. They are very important to use in the replacement text. You don't need to use them when you create it. Divided by 24 gives me the total number of days. I'm not going to calculate weeks, months, years, whatever. You can also do this. I'm going to stop at days. Important again, it's a math expression. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to fill the display time. And I'm going to start to fill my display time with a space, just a space. You can't create an empty variable in here. So that's why I just put in there a space. So it's empty. And I can start adding stuff in there. The first thing I'm going to add is the number of days. But I'm not just going to add the number of days because probably it will be 0. So that's why I put number of days. If it's different than 0, then we're going to put in our text days. And the days and the dividing sign. It can be a dash, it can be the word days, whatever you want it to be. So I'm just gonna put days in there. If days is 0, nothing's gonna happen. It will just be the space. If it's not, if days is not 0, the number of days will go in there and we'll lose the space, but that's not an issue. We're gonna do the same thing with the number of hours, only I have 2 clauses here, and I use the OR operator in my conditional here, because we want the number of hours to be added when the number of hours is different than 0, but it has to be added even when 0, when the number of days is different than 0. If it's 1 day, you don't want hours to be skipped. So when one of those, that's why we use the OR operator, when one of those is different than 0, display time will be display time $hours. Because I use this as a divider, it's already in there. It's my days and my hours, as you can see displayed on top, going in there. The same thing is with display time minutes, only I use 3 things to check now. Days, hours, and minutes. If one of those is not 0, we need to add it. And then we come to a special one. It's the number of seconds, and I made 2 different ones here. If the number of seconds is smaller than 10, we're gonna add display time 0 sec. If it's 10 or higher, it's gonna be display time sec. You can see it right here. So now we have our display time in a variable. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna write this display time. We're gonna write this display time into a text file, the text file being the display.txt. And the last thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take the seconds.txt and we're gonna re-put it into seconds. Why I'm doing this? Because in other scripts I'm going to alter the seconds.txt, and whenever I alter the text files, the text file, I want a new value to put into the seconds again. If everything of this is looped through until my total value of seconds is 0, then I'm going to save something else through the display file, and it will be the D2-a-thon is over. It can also be just 0000. It can be empty, a space, then nothing will be displayed. It's whatever you want. So that's the last file line here, saving another text to display file. And that's the whole script. If I run this script, you'll see that the display timer at the top of the stream will start running, and will keep running until it hits 0. Another command I've made, and you can use this in any event, in any command, in when somebody subs, when somebody plays a card, when somebody buys a pack of Streamloots cards, and it's this add time thing. It reads the number of seconds, making a variable AT seconds with the number of seconds in it. I add 10 seconds, in this example, 10 seconds to the number of seconds in seconds, and I just write it back to the file. Whenever I run this command, 10 seconds will be added to the timer. Normally you should have seen 10 seconds being added, and it's just calculating the number, writing it back. Again, here it's very important to have this turned on, mod expression. It's very, very important. And that's it. That's everything I do. There's one important thing I still need to show you in the settings file. Go to commands, because the Mixitup bot has a command lock system, and usually it's put to per command type or singular. I put command lock to none, so I can run multiple commands at once, and you need it to run the countdown timer and add time thing at once. You can make multiple add time things. Nobody will see them. They will not show up in chat. You can use different values for a card plate, package bought, number of subs. You can change it in anything. You can even use random numbers in there. Play around, have fun with it, and let me know how you altered it, what you did with it. Would love to hear from you. And I think that's all I needed to tell you. By the way, Priest, thank you so much for showing me the command log system. It helped me so much. So big out to the GCU. Thank you, and see you all soon. Goodbye.